can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Pleasure to be joined by Owen McKendry. This one for some betting tips for the super fight in the super bantamweight division for all of the marbles at 122 pounds. The pound for pound star that is Naoya Inoue takes on his next test in Japan of MJ Akhmadaliev. Before we get into it, and Owen and I share our betting tips and some prices that kind of um, jump out at us. If you're not doing so already, please do hit that subscribe button. Would really appreciate it, as well as liking the video and letting us know in the comments your thoughts, whether you think Owen and I are on the money, pardon the pun, or whether you think that we're way off it and you perhaps disagree with us and see value elsewhere. Owen, well, as I've said, betting tips. It's as expected with a new A fight. He's an overwhelming favorite. He's 1 to 10 just to win the fight. I'm saying. Akhmadaliev seeing odds of 6 to 1 just to win. I'm sure we'll dive into it a little deeper, but initially, what is your betting tip for Inoue Akhmadaliev undisputed super middleweight super bantamweight title fight this weekend?
I'd be very worried if Inoue was at super middleweight. For me, I think the 1 to 10 is, I think it's harsh on MJ. I think it's a lot closer of a fight than a 1 to 10 favourite. But to me, that's just the bookies drawing in, the casual fans who will look at Inoue's record, look at what he's done, and completely discount and discredit Akhmadaliev. I think at this stage of Inoue's career, he's had a lot of fights. He's had some hard fights within that time. He's had a lot of easy nights, a lot of quick nights. But I think naturally, as you see a fighter that's moving through the weights deeper in a career, I don't want to say slow down, but they're just a bit like Canelo. They just become, what's the right way to describe it? Just smarter. They don't need to go in looking for the kill early. So I think we will see rounds in this fight. I think we'll see Akhmadaliev have some success, but I think Inoue will get him out of there late. So my tip would be Naoya Inoue stoppage in rounds 9 to 12. The best price I've found for that is 5 to 2, which any money over evens for an Inoue knockout is good money and good value. Like I say, I just think a more, not tentative, but a more calculated Inoue, that's older, smarter, will be able to find the better angles to get the sort of the power shots and the shots that hurt in. But I think Akhmadaliev's definitely good enough to take him some rounds. So I think it'll be a late stoppage for me, 9 to 12.
Yeah, nice and good odds there at 5 to 2 as well. So you look at Inoue's bar, maybe the Kim fight. Like, a lot of some of his, I can't remember exactly. I was doing an article earlier this week, but I think something like five of his last seven have been in the second half of the fight,
Hmm.
and like two or three of those five have come in the last 4 or 5 rounds. So I completely see your logic there as well, and I totally agree. I think MJ is world class in his own right. He's been a former champion at this weight as well. Of course, before that loss to Tapales, which was a close loss. It was a split decision, I believe. Scorecards were all over the show on that night, I remember as well. But
Horrific.
yeah, he's class. I mean, he could well be the best outside of Inoue at 122.
Hmm.
But I think I've heard a lot of people say that. Eddie Hearn obviously very confident that
Hmm.
Medaliev gets the job done here. Finally saying that Inoue has stopped ducking Akhmadaliev. So make of that what you will, whether you agree with Eddie or not, or whether he's just doing his
Definitely
job
not.
as a promoter. But anyway, yeah, mate, I completely. My betting tip is similar. I think Akhmadaliev not maybe goes first in frustrate Inoue. I think
Hmm.
it's that old cliche now of downloading the data. We see Usyk do it sometimes.
Yep.
Saw Floyd Mayweather doing it as well when he was still going. Kind of seeing what his opponent has in the early rounds before saying, right, okay, I've worked you out. Now I'm going to get to work. And I think that could happen with Inoue. I think
Yep.
I'm going to go for the stoppage as well. I'm going maybe a little earlier. I
Hmm.
still think it's going to be the second half of the fight, but I'm going to go with a Inoue in round 7 to 9, so the third quarter of the fight. The best odds I've seen are 13 to 5, so not too dissimilar to your 5 to 2, really. Maybe just an extra couple of quid on there, depending on your stake. But yeah, I'm going for 7 to 9, so we're kind of crossing over in one round. If it happens in round nine, we're both in the money here, aren't we? So yeah, maybe a safer bet. With Owen, if you agree with Owen and I, then is for the Inoue stoppage in the second half. So around 7-12. You're getting odds of just over evens, 11-10, I'm seeing. So that's uh, maybe another good price. Obviously, as
Solid.
well, like if we've seen Inoue on the floor twice in his last, what, 4 or 5 fights, albeit he's got up and come on to then get the stoppage. Almost as if he woke up in those. I think as well, like we haven't really seen him hit much, but he clearly has a good chin because Neary was a big puncher, got him down, and like within 30 seconds, Inoue was like well on top again. Then you look at the Cardenas one as well. He's quite a big puncher. Actually looked like he'd hurt Inoue that with that dropped him kind of heavy enough. And Inoue again within 30 seconds, straight back to his feet, like putting on an onslaught of his own. So I think he's got a good chin. But if you think that maybe there is a bit of frailty there from the monster in his last few fights, and you think maybe he is on the back nine on the coming back down the mountain, then there's definitely value in Akhmadaliev. As I
Mm.
said, a 6-1 win just to win. They're massive odds and safe enough for any method. If you feel like, MJ's got a good few stoppages of his own as well. So I'm seeing odds of 12-1 for a KO or a TKO for Akhmadaliev. And obviously it's in Japan. And I don't know if he can outbox Inoue, but Akhmadaliev a decision, I'm seeing odds of 16-1. And then just to kind of run through other
For
ones as
sure.
well, Inoue stoppage at any point is 2-5. So no real value there. If you think Inoue could maybe win by decision, the last time he went decision was the first Daenerys fight, which was what, 12 fights ago now.
Hmm.
Um, it's 3-1 for Inoue decision, so they're kind of more basic odds. But yeah, Owen and I in total agreement that it happens in the second half. Owen perhaps a little later than me, but yeah, between second half of the fight for an Inoue stoppage, which has kind of been the norm for him
Hmm.
lately. Just before we round off, mate, is there any? I'll kind of couple of questions here. What would surprise you more? Would an Akhmadaliev win by any means surprise you more, or would an Inoue early knockout surprise you more? Because we have seen Inoue get a lot of early stoppages as well. But do you feel like we both obviously feel like it's coming in the second half? Say Inoue was to
Uh-huh.
go in and get MJ out of there within 4 rounds, would that surprise you more than, for example, Akhmadaliev winning split decision or something?
Um, when you first said it, I thought not even close, but the more I think about it, it's actually a difficult question. I think Inoue's he's still the monster. Let's not get it twisted, but he's not that explosive, come out and try and knock you out in 1 or 2 rounds. He is a bit more, he's smarter, he's clever. Like I think personally, as he's getting older, more into his fights, we're seeing more of his boxing ability and not just, he's a freak. Someone at light flyweight through to super bantamweight to have as many stoppages as he has, he is genuinely a freak of nature.
Yeah.
But as he's getting older, we're actually seeing more of the boxing side, the boxing brain, some better shots. But I still think I'd edge Akhmadaliev because let's not get it twisted. Inoue is not, it's not impossible to hit him. It's not impossible to catch him. But the times he has been either caught or dropped, look what happens. It's almost like he's angry. And he's like, yeah. So unless it's an absolute punch from the gods, because he's clearly got a chin. So purely because of his chin, I think the Akhmadaliev stoppage would surprise me more. And I think it would have to be like an absolute punch from the gods. Because if he drops Inoue, Inoue's just gonna get up and go, fuck being smart. I'm just gonna chin you. You're done. It's dusted. It's over. I've won. So I think the Akhmadaliev stoppage would definitely surprise me. However, he can't win on points. He could win all 12 rounds, and he's not going to get the decision. It's boxing. Let's be serious. There's absolutely not a chance on this planet Akhmadaliev can be given. I'm not saying he can't win on points, but he won't win on points. So the knockout is his only way of winning.
Yeah, that's well put, mate. Well put, and yeah, can't really disagree with what you said. I think, although I don't really see Inoue winning this early, but as you said, any form of an Akhmadaliev win would surprise me more, just because Inoue is that good, like isn't he? And then one thing I
Hmm.
think we haven't mentioned, but I think it's worth quickly mentioning as well, is the fact that Akhmadaliev will be confident that he can win. I've seen a lot of people in the past fighting Inoue and they know they're beaten. Let's be honest, they know they're not going to win. So the way they
All
fight,
but
they tuck up and just defend, and hopefully they hope that they see the final bell. I don't think Akhmadaliev is going to do that. He'll be
too good.
thinking that, you know what, I can actually stop you. Like coming forward, therefore more vulnerable, open, which could play into Inoue's hands as well, which is another reason I think that you and I are maybe going for the stoppage as well. But yeah, time will tell, mate. Hopefully the fight lives up to expectation, and hopefully a UK broadcaster flipping picks the fight up as well.
On Facebook.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But yeah, that's all we've got time for. They were Owen and I's betting tips for the undisputed super bantamweight title fight between Naoya Inoue and Murodjon AKHMADALIEV on Sunday in Japan. So let us know your thoughts, guys, in the comments, and whether you agree with Owen and I, whether you totally disagree, whether you see the upset being pulled off here and you'll be on those lucrative MJ odds. And as always, like the video, and if you're not doing so already, subscribe to the channel. We've got all of your boxing needs up and under one roof. Owen, it was a pleasure. Enjoy all of the boxing from Belfast to Las Vegas to Japan this weekend. And yeah, I'll catch up with you again soon.
Pleasure as always, mate.